Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be sharing with you her 6th week update for her 7th grade year. And this is going to be from her point of view, not mine, maybe a little bit because but I want her to share how things have been going with her for the first 6 weeks of our homeschool. So, my name is Morgan. This is Britta here at the Life of Tillmans. If this is your first time, welcome. So glad to have you here. If you've been here before, welcome back. I like to do update videos, so I have a playlist linked down below in the description for monthly updates, and it has every monthly update that we have done since I started the channel. So you can check that out and see where we are. If you just want to start with this school year, then obviously go back a couple of videos, and that way you can follow progression. I share, different curriculum and whether we dropped something, picked it up, liked it, loved it, all the things in between, and just our lives going forward. Also, I do book videos with the girls, so make sure you stick around for those because they are July and August reads. I will be sharing those, and I will link that down below. And another housekeeping thing, guys, curriculum. If you want to know all of the curriculum that she will be using for this school year, I will link down below the curriculum playlist as well as her specific 7th grade curriculum list. Because what I'm going to be sharing with you guys now is only what we have done for the first couple of months of school, which does not include everything that we will touch on for the entire school year because we are in the thick of volleyball season. Yay! I love watching her play volleyball. It's just super busy. So we're not doing everything that I shared in the original curriculum video. Okay, I think that's all housekeeping. Do you have any housekeeping items? No. Okay, great. All right, so we're going to do a recap of what she's using right now. For ELA, she is doing Easy Grammar Ultimate Grade 8. She has Critical Thinking Company Sentence Diagramming. We also have Word Roots Vocabulary. That is also by the Critical Thinking Company. For spelling, she uses the vocabulary word from Word Roots to do her spelling. She is doing the Mastas Press Reading Jade, I believe it is, Literature Curriculum. Then we are doing IEW Writing, Structure and Style 1B. Yes. And that's all for ELA right now. And then for math, she is doing Saxon Math 8-7. You might be able to see that book right here in front of us. And then we'll talk about electives and extracurricular activities. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is Saxon Math 8-7. She has her work in it. Let me take that out. Okay. Saxon Math 8-7. Yay! No. Do you like Saxon 8-7?
Yep.
Okay.
Old favorite.
She has used Saxon 5-4, 6-5, 7-6, and now we're on 8-7, which is their pre-algebra course. How do you feel about it?
I like the repetitiveness inside of it, and I like how they give me multiple different ways to work out certain problems.
Okay, let's talk about repetition because a lot of times when you hear repetitive, you're like, boring, right? But Saxon is repetitive in the structure of each lesson is the same. Tell them about the structure of each lesson.
So first, when you get into the lesson, or before you get into the lesson, there's a separate book that you do 5 minutes of math facts. So it could be circles, it could be dividing fractions, multiplying fractions, finding proportions, any of that stuff. And then you move on to the mental math section. Then they have a problem solving section. Then you read the lesson. Then you do your practice questions that are just about what you learned in the lesson. Then you have your mixed practice, which are different questions from that lesson and all the lessons before.
Okay, so that structure is the same for every lesson. There's also a thing called investigations where it really gives them more of a hands-on component to learn how to do different things. Which, how do you like the investigations?
I do like them. Normally, I don't like doing many hands-on things, but the investigations in Saxon are fun.
She's not my hands-on girl. She is not the kinesthetic learner. She's like, give me the black and white pages in the lesson and I'm done, right? So I really like that. One thing that I like about Saxon 8-7 that I did not see, and correct me if I'm wrong, in the previous ones is that it works out the problems at the end of, or in the solutions manual. It actually works it out step by step, which I felt like that was missing in the previous levels. So we just had to make sure that we got to the right answer, in which it's not a big deal. It's earlier math, so it's okay. But I really love that for the pre-algebra course. So she is currently on like what, lesson 46?
45. Yeah.
45. She does math 3 to 4 times a week right now because of volleyball season. I tested her up, so the numbers won't add up if you're like, wait, but you guys have been in school for 6 weeks and she's on lesson 40 something. So for the first, I don't know, 3 weeks,
yeah,
she just took tests. And I do that because she has used the curriculum for so long. The first 40 to 45 lessons of Saxon math in each level are review. And because we did not stop for an extended period of time, she did not need a ton of review. She did very well in 7-6. So we just like to test, and whenever she gets an 85 or less, that is where she will begin her lessons. So she took test number 9, right?
Yeah.
And she got an 85, so we had to go back to about lesson 40 or so. So she was only taking like 2 tests a week, and that gives her a chance to kind of just kind of look it over, relax. She really didn't do a bunch of review, did you? Just kind of pulled out the test and took it.
Yeah.
And that was basically how that went. So she did really well. She got a few hundreds, a couple of 90s, and she hit that 85. So overall, loving Saxon.
Yep.
I don't think she's ever going to do anything else, y'all. We'll see how it goes. But I like Saxon. Okay, let's get into the ELA components that she has been using. The first one is, this is a new curriculum for her this year. My focus for her, I'll take that back. Our focus for her, which I did have to kind of steer her in that direction, was to get more literature, but to really dive into that literature deeper than what she has before. She is an avid reader, if you follow the channel. Tons and tons of books all the time, and she loves it. And I love that she loves that. However, I did feel like she was lacking that critical thinking, analytical skills when it came to assessing and analyzing the literature that she was reading. So really in-depth questions like, what is the author trying to say, or what are they inferring with this, or why do you think this character did this, those types of things. So I searched high and low, and I came across Mastas Press literature, and this is Jade, and she's all smiles. Now let me tell you about how it started though. So she's doing really well in this literature. How do you like it?
I like the different stories. They are really fun, and some of them are actually really funny. One thing at the beginning that I didn't like so much was all the questions that I have to answer after. There's like 15 or so questions, and they ask me to recall the story and to think about what could have happened or what would have happened, and think about the different character traits of the characters. And at first, I didn't understand why I had to answer all those questions.
No, she was like giving one sentence answers to something that really needed 7-8 sentences. And she's like, why do I have to answer all of that? Or it would have 2 parts to the question, and she would only answer the first part, which is the purpose of me doing this literature with her. I think now you understand why, and she answers the questions more in depth, and it just really gives her a good viewpoint of literature in general. Also, she does still do her independent reading. So it's not like her independent reading was taken away. She still has books that she's reading just because I think that's really important as well.
That's what I thought at the beginning, that my independent reading was going to be taken away because I have this and I have reading that goes with my writing. I thought I wouldn't have time to do independent reading, but I still do.
Because she reads all the time. Literally all the time, y'all. So, loving Mastas. Yep. Oh, make sure you stick around and subscribe. I am going to do a video of my thoughts of this and kind of like a flip through of it as well, and our thoughts as my thoughts with us being this far into it. So make sure you subscribe so you won't miss that. With Masdas, I forgot to say, she also gets
graphic organizers, and there's a little bit of vocabulary, and there's always a writing prompt. And yeah,
that's it. So she has a creative writing prompt. Typically, the creative writing prompt will say, write 5 paragraphs on whatever, and she'll get like 1 because she is using a writing curriculum that we're going to talk about as well. So I don't want her to overdo it, but I like the creative writing prompts in Mastas because it just allows her to be able to free flow her writing. There's really not a whole lot of structure to it. I don't necessarily grade it. She checks it for grammatical errors, but outside of that, I don't check the content or say you should have put this here or there, or, any of that. It just is like free writing for her, which she really enjoys doing. So it gives her the best of both worlds to be able to do this. The vocabulary, there's usually maybe about 5 to 7 vocabulary words, so it doesn't add a ton of extra vocabulary to her week. And it's usually words that she already knows, so it's not a whole lot.
Some of them are
extra.
It's either words I already know or words I've absolutely never heard of.
Never heard of
but
before.
Most of the times, it's words I already know.
So that's good to give her like a couple of extra words per week that she's never come across before in her reading. And then the graphic organizers, there are usually 2 of those. So I'll give more details in a different video. Just make sure you stick around. But just know that she is enjoying this, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Moving on to Easy Grammar Ultimate Grade 8. Do y'all see this? Yay! She has been using Easy Grammar for a couple of years. We did Easy Grammar 5 and 6, right? Yes. 5 and 6. And based off of recommendations and flipping through, we decided to go from Easy Grammar 6 and skip over 7 and go to 8. 7 is more like almost kind of like a review, I believe, of the previous years with a little bit more in depth, but it would not have been challenging enough for her. Now, Easy Grammar, it says Easy Grammar, but it's not easy, but it's not super hard. And it's set up very similar to like a 180 days thing. There's 180 daily lessons. And so she just does 1 page per day. So how do you like Easy Grammar Ultimate 8?
I like it. It resembles the daily grams
Yes.
with the other books, and I like how it's also repetition. There's capitalization, punctuation, learning different word parts, and combining sentences each daily thing.
Grammar is like her thing. So I don't really have to do too much. And I take it as a learning experience, and she's learning, she's getting better every day. She misses maybe 1, sometimes 2. So yeah, this is her grammar work. And with doing the graphic organizer for Mastas, her reading curriculum, she gets a little bit more grammar work in there and sentence structure and things like that as well, punctuation and things like that. Okay, let's go on to vocabulary. Yay. We have the Critical Thinking Company. This is word roots, and this is level 1. She is almost done. She's on like lesson 29. Yeah. So she'll have 2 lessons and then a review, and she will be done. So we're looking at 3, maybe 4 weeks if we like move super slow. And she'll be finished with this. She started working on it last year. How do you feel about it? Having almost gotten to the end of the book, I mean, this is like a curriculum review. What do you think?
I think it is fantastic. It also has repetition in it. The 2 lessons are the same. You have, and I also like how they break up the words into their suffixes, their prefixes, and their roots. Okay. And then the reviews are also the same each time, which are after every 2 lessons.
So more repetition, but I think that that's really helpful for vocabulary. She has never complained about having to do this curriculum. So we just pull it out and we get started. I say we. No, it's her. This is an independent subject for her. She usually does not need my help. I do have her read off her words at the beginning of the week so that I can make sure that she's actually pronouncing them correctly.
Some of the words in here are very hard to pronounce.
Yes. As you see on here, it says grades 5 through 12 plus. So this adult mama could be doing word roots. I probably should be. And that would help my vocabulary as well. We already have level 2 ready to go whenever she is done with it. And so while we're talking about vocabulary, let's go into spelling. She uses these same vocabulary words for her spelling words. So what we did was eliminate an additional curriculum. How do you like that?
I like the way how I'm using the same words. So in vocabulary, I already have to learn how to spell the words because I'm writing them down every single page that I do. So it makes it easier for me to do the spelling.
There you have it. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Some other things that because I wanted to introduce some different ways of doing like sentence diagramming and getting the parts of speech and sentences. We are doing sentence diagramming by the Critical Thinking Company, and this says pre-K through third through 12th grade. This is the first level, beginning level. This was not easy for her to start. Definitely a different type of thought process for her because she had never seen sentence diagramming before, but that was my purpose so that she can say, I've seen this, I know how to do this, I can recall this at some point. This was a new introduction. So how are you liking sentence diagramming?
I'm liking it now. It is getting harder because I'm soon getting to the spot where I have to make up my own sentences and stuff like that and diagram them myself. But right now it's actually really fun. Interesting way to diagram sentences.
Yeah. I think it helps to look at the sentences in a different way. There are a total of 12 lessons in this book, and with each lesson there are 4 questions. And that each question usually has 2 or 3 parts or sentence diagramming sections is how I'll say that. So she does sentence diagramming twice a week. And so she'll do, in a lesson, she'll do numbers 1 and 2. On Tuesday, and then on Thursday she'll do 3 and 4. And so she'll be done with this by the end of this first semester. But this is a good addition for us to have, just to introduce something different. And I'm not sure if we'll go to the next level. We'll see. And it may not be until next year. Depends on what our load is looking like. But sentence diagramming has been great. Another thing that we added on this year, because she is an avid reader and aspires to be a writer, I thought let's look at editing. So she is also doing editor in chief by the Critical Thinking Company, and this is for grades 6 through 8, level 2. She has not done level 1. We just immediately started her at level 2. How do you like it? I saw you clap.
I love it. Yes, I love editing all the different stories that they have. And I like how they also started me with only working on content, editing the content, and they went into punctuation and capitalization and finding exclamation marks and things like that. It's really fun. But at first, there were like 9 things, and I found 4 of them, and I was like, "There's no more."
Yeah,
Because I was like,
I
"I'm
quit.
giving up. There's no more."
So if you've not looked at editor in chief, what they do is they give you a lesson and they teach you, how to do it and what you should be looking for, and then they give you exercises to practice that lesson. With the exercise, they also will tell you, like this one says there are 2 content errors, 2 capitalization errors, 4 punctuation errors. So your child knows what to look for and they can mark those off as they go. And she's like, I don't see anymore. Like, I'm done. There's no more errors here. Like, the book is wrong. But it was just something new. It took a transition to get into. And like she said, she's enjoying it. She does this twice a week also. So she'll usually finish up a lesson in 1 week. How many lessons are there in here? I didn't even look because this is just one of those things that we're just going to do.
Well,
right?
There's 67 or 68 stories.
Stories, yes.
Lessons, I don't know how many lessons there are.
12. There are 12 lessons, and I'm not sure how many stories go with each lesson. So that's just kind of one of those things. There's review at the end and all the things. If you're interested, let me know, and I can do a flip through of this as well. We forgot to talk about writing. IEW.
Oh, yay!
Okay, because I don't have the stuff in front of me. Oh, yes, I do. I have one thing. This is my teacher's manual. This helps me remember IEW. Okay, so it is. She is working on IEW Structure and Style 1B. This was a jump for me. Us in general, everyone, there are a lot of people I know who use IEW, and I was like, she's not going to like it. It's too much structure. But she needed the structure to really focus her writing. As I said, she still gets creative writing, which is what she really loves to do, but the structure is necessary to help really build a solid foundation. So that is why she is an IEW. We came from writing strands, which was great, but it wasn't as much structure as what IEW brings into it. So tell them how you're liking IEW.
I love it. I love all the writing things and how they teach me how to write keyword outlines, and they have me write a list of adverbs in the NLY and all the stories they have me read, and they have me rewrite them after I do my keyword outlines. It is super fun. I know at first I was not a big fan of the videos at all. Mama told me I was gonna have to watch videos, and I was like, I'm not doing it. But now the videos are so funny.
And that was before. So I mentioned this before, but she does not like online learning. That's just not something that she really enjoys. But as she gets older, that is going to be something that she will do. Maybe not in every area. I know it won't be necessary, but there are a lot of areas where it may be. We might move to online science or online math just to get different instruction. Like, who knows? So doing the videos, I mentioned video, and she's like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, we're doing this. We're going to give it a try, give it a go. She's watching the videos, you guys, and she like open mouth laughing. And I'm like, what are you doing over there? She's like, I'm doing my writing. No way. I'm looking. Andrew Poudoir has my kid cracking up every day. So this has been a really good addition, and I enjoy reading her writing. So she had to hire
an editor.
An editor. I don't get paid.
But he actually tells me to pay you guys by like doing chores or something, or like give you a massage or something. So whatever you want, I can just pay you. I'm a little.
I heard right there.
Yeah. Oh. Some other
time. See my pay. My pay is minimal. Okay. But I enjoy reading her work and going through, and I have not had to red pen her, y'all. My mom was a teacher, and my aunt, and my sister, and my cousin. So red pens have been in my life for a while now. But she's doing really well. And I'm glad that she likes it because it was an investment. I will tell you, I do not have the teacher videos that go along with this. In my purchasing, I really didn't understand everything that was going on and what else I needed. So I just thought I got the teacher's manual and I have all of her material, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Hey guys, we had to stop the video because we had some technical difficulties. So we are back. This is a completely different day, but we're just going to pick up where we left off. You know, this kind of stuff just happens. So we were talking about IEW, and what I was saying was that I did not get the teachers' videos to go along with the student curriculum. I just have the teacher's manual book. And for all of the IEW enthusiasts out there, experts and everything, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything by not having those teachers' videos. I feel like she's still able to go through the lessons. I still understand what she's doing. I'm able to grade her work and all the things. Do you have anything else to say about IEW? I can't remember what we talked about already with IEW because the video cut off and I didn't just review it. So,
I don't
but you
think
like
so.
it though.
Yes, I do.
It's giving her the structure that she needs, that we were looking for, and she still gets to do creative writing. So it's a win-win. Okay, let's talk about science. We are using Berean Builders Atomic Ages for science, and this is at upper middle school, so 7th and 8th grade level for science. And I had to try to find something that was middle of the road. We had been using master books, which I don't feel like was enough for my middle daughter who loves everything science. I also don't feel like it was enough for her, but you tell them how you feel about science.
It's definitely not my favorite subject. No. Yeah, no. I don't really like it very much. I don't see the point of science if you're not going to go into a area and have a job that has to do something with science.
This is her honest opinion. I disagree, but I also love science, and there are going to be things that our children just have to do. And for her, science is one of those. She doesn't get a pass in our homeschool. She doesn't get to skip science classes. She will take high school science classes, whatever is required, and that's just how it's going to be. So, like it or love it. Can you tell them something positive about it though?
The experiments.
What about the experiments?
They're fun, and they're detailed. They're more detailed
than what we were using.
Yes.
What else about the experiments is something that you didn't really like doing?
Oh, the writing, the documenting down the experiments.
Yes. The science report. This, yes, the experiment report.
I didn't understand why we couldn't just tell somebody about the science experiment. I didn't understand why we had to write it all down.
But do you feel like it's helped you at all?
Yes.
How?
Helped me remember the experiment. I remember what I learned from it.
Which is a benefit later on for what? How does it help you? If you know how to do the experiment, I mean, you have to take tests, right?
Oh, yeah, studying. It helps you with studying. Yeah.
Because if you write down, this is my take on it, if you write down your experimentation and what you did and all the steps, your data and everything, when it's time for you to take the test and you have questions about that or the process, you understand in the lesson what you were taught. Do you feel like that's truly where you are, or are you still growing in that area? Which I can accept growing. I'm fine with that.
I think growing, yeah.
Okay. Just because she has a block because she doesn't like science like that. So this is just something that we do. And she's not a pain, y'all, when it comes to science. She just doesn't like it. And so I do have to keep her engaged. So what I try to do with science is look at the lesson prior to us doing it. And we do science every day. But prior to us doing it, I look at the lesson and I read the portion that I feel like needs the most explanation, like they're going to have to really grasp the concept, because I can make that, I believe, a little bit more fun. Also, we alternate with reading. So my middle daughter and Brenna read also. So I'll take that portion of it and then I'll let them read. That keeps them engaged. The science experiments are in the middle of the lesson. So you do reading, then you do your experiment, then you do more reading, and then you answer the experiment. What is it? No, not experiment. I don't know. It's like check questions at the end of that day's lesson for you to go over. Is there anything else? We talked about this before. Like I said, this is like our 4th time trying to record this video. There was something else that she mentioned that I can't remember what it was.
Oh, how the guy talks. How
yes,
the guy who writes the book, it's like he's talking to you as he reads out the lesson, and that makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yes. So it's almost like, doing a read aloud. One great thing about Berean Builders is they do have audio that you can get to where they can read the lessons to you. We have not tried that. I don't know how well that would work with science because there's just an element of like understanding that sometimes, if I pre-read the lesson, I'm like, oh, I can explain this to them in this way, and they'll be able to get it faster than just reading through the lesson. So overall, I really like brand builders. If you watch my sixth graders video, she loves brand builders as well. So Brenna's just kind of getting on board. She's just doing what we got to do, right? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk about history. What are we using for history?
Knotgrass.
We are using Knotgrass from Adam to us. How do you like Knotgrass?
I actually love Knotgrass.
What do you love about it?
I like how in the beginning it talks about how God created the world and goes all the different biblical stories from history. And
it is a Christian-based curriculum.
And then I also like how at the end there's also geography that goes with it. So there's a map book, there's like a workbook that we go out of that has crossword puzzles and word searches and stuff like that. There's a poem book, and there's also a timeline, and then there are vocabulary words and a creative writing prompt at the end of this.
So Knotgrass is filled with a lot of like rich information in there, and we are really enjoying it. The pictures, you guys.
The pictures are so pretty. They give different pictures from the ancient times and all these different places that we learn about, and
it's really
different
amazing
handwritings. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm loving that aspect of it too. It's really good, and I will say it's a little time consuming, and I'll do another like review or anything if you guys want to flip through. Just let me know. It can take up quite a bit of time. We are also reading a chapter book. Like right now, we're reading The Golden Goblet, one chapter a day, or one chapter every time we do a history lesson, and we only do history 3 days a week right now. And so there's a chapter with that. So we do kind of have like 5 days to go over, 3 chapters, and that's working out fairly well for us. But it does take some work, but the creative writing exercises, they do not fully do the full thing. I had cut it down smaller because they have a writing curriculum. They're already doing other creative writing things. So I don't really have them do the full thing. Like it may say for them to write 5 paragraphs, and I'll have them write 1 to 2. And they just give rich information in that 1 to 2 paragraphs and cover, what it asks for them to cover. So that's how we're doing the creative writing. There's also vocabulary words, so they get to add some of those to it as well. And it's not super in-depth work on that, but Knotgrass has been really good. Mm-hmm. It does not have the diversity that we are looking for within our homeschool. However, I have a plan for that after we get out of volleyball season, and we will start studying the continent of Africa. We have resources on like Egypt and things like that, the different countries in Africa, and that's how we will go about adding diversity into our history curriculum and geography as well. Anything else about Knotgrass?
Nope.
No? Okay. Let's talk about, one thing that we started doing a few weeks ago is World Watch News. And I was like, we don't have enough current events. And so we watch World Watch News Monday through Friday. And then once a week, we meet up with some friends via FaceTime and we talk about the different stories. World Watch News has worksheets that you can print off at 2 different levels to where you answer the specific questions for that day, or you can use it for the whole week, however you choose to do it. How do you feel about World Watch News?
I actually love it. It's very fun and how they tell the stories. And I also like how we get stories about other countries also, and we can know what they're needing. And like there's a question on the papers that asks how can one of these stories like inform your prayer life, and I like knowing what the other countries are going through so we can pray about that.
Yeah, be very specific in our prayers. It's really informative, and it's not from like a negative point of view. I can do a review on that too, you guys, about more details about that. But I really like it. I'm enjoying it, and it is from a Christian perspective as well. But it's just informative to know what's going on. I'm not a huge news watcher, and the time that the news comes on around where we live, I'm usually like exercising or preparing breakfast, and I just don't have time to watch the news. So World Watch News has really been helpful in giving us just kind of like a broad view, specific topics, fun stuff, really interesting things. There's some sad stories as well, and it will tell you if things are for children or not, or, all the things. So far, my girls, all 3 of them have watched everything, and we've had great discussion with it. So World Watch News has been a plus. Okay, let's talk about electives. So her elective for this fall is typing, and she is doing that through her writing. So she types up her assignments and gives those to me for her lovely grading. Ting, that's me. And then for second semester, we haven't gone into that, but that's pretty much where we are with electives. It's super busy right now, and so we're not even super focused on that. But we'll get back to that. Extracurriculars, she is currently doing volleyball. That is like her love right now. The season is really busy. It's high demand. It takes a lot of our time. There's a lot of juggling. I will link down below the schedule video that I kind of give ideas of how we move every day with volleyball and school and all the things. So check that out, and it'll give you a good idea of like how things flow with us, especially with volleyball season. And then the other one is band, and this is saxophone and guitar. Oh, well, like, how are you feeling about volleyball? I forgot to ask that, y'all.
I think volleyball is going absolutely amazing. I love it.
What do you love about volleyball?
Playing. It's fun.
It's fun. Okay. She loves volleyball. She didn't have anything negative to say about it. So, okay, band, saxophone, and guitar. So she was actually not in band class this semester because it conflicted with a lot of the games for volleyball. So we just had to make a choice as to which one we were going to do. However, she has a really solid foundation in music. She played piano for 3 years. She's played the saxophone for 2 years. She's never played the guitar, but that's something that she will learn. And so we are continuing with band like at home, just allowing them to use what they've already learned and keep moving forward with that, because that's all that we can do right now. So it's working. That works for us to be able to do that, and hopefully they can go back to band January. If not, it will be in the fall of 2025 if there are no conflicts with the schedule. So overall, what do you think? How's it going, girlfriend?
I think I already said volleyball's going good. I think it's good that we're going to be practicing our instruments at home so we can keep getting into them and maybe be able to get back to band next semester or next year or something like that. I think school is going pretty good. It's hard with volleyball season because it's very busy, but also I need to focus more and remember that my playtime is volleyball.
That's me. Yeah. I told them they chose to sign up for volleyball, and that's okay. That also means that, you know, some of that time that you will be doing other play things, you know, you don't necessarily get to do all of that because you're spending 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours a day between travel time and playing time with volleyball. So that kind of is what it is right now. Volleyball's life right now. That's just how it has to be. But it's temporary season. We understand that. And our schedule will adjust once volleyball season is over.
And I don't regret doing volleyball at all.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah. Are you like, oh, there's days that I don't wish I had volleyball?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So there you have it. There are days that I wish we didn't have volleyball.
Not for me, no.
Just because, you know, it's just busy. But I don't necessarily regret signing them up for volleyball and participating. I love to watch them. I love to see how they grow. It's just a part of what we do, and I really enjoy it. So there's just days where obviously you get tired and you're like, whew, I don't want to go today, but we're going because we're doing this. We're committed, and that's what we're doing. Overall, do you feel like so far the school year has gone well?
Yes.
With juggling everything?
Yep.
Okay. I feel like having to come back and record this a couple of times kind of took away a little bit of our joy, y'all. I mean, all these technical difficulties that can do that. But yeah, I don't know. What else? Is there anything else?
Mm-mm.
As soon as I hit stop on this camera, she's going to be like, oh, yeah. So we may come back. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.